So we had the Paramount CBS deal announced for UFC in the US for now, which there's more that I want to talk about. I did my video on that yesterday. If you guys haven't watched that, you can go watch it after this video. But right after this, we have more information on the movie that Alex Pereira is now filming. Now, this news came out a few months ago. It flew under my radar, but now, especially moving into the stage that we are in with the UFC now, it's a new era. We're going to see how fighters will be making their money, how fighters will be growing the sport, growing their stardom, and then I want to cover this over here. Now, I did a short on this before recording this. Matt Brown talking about the Paramount deal and what it means for fighters. I love Matt Brown. Matt Brown, he's been around. I think he was fighting like right around the time or even before I started watching this sport. So I hold his opinions to a high regard. I think that this guy, Matt Brown, most knockouts, very credible mind in the sport, very sharp dude. But let's start off with reading this Instagram post. First look at Alex Pereira in his role as the villain in the new A24 movie Onslaught. The former UFC 2 Division champion makes his acting debut as the Butcher, directed by Adam Wingard, who made Godzilla vs. Kong the guest. Onslaught is described as a gonzo action horror thriller leaning into the wild, unfiltered style of Lingard's earlier work. Pereira stars opposite Adria, I can't even say her last name, who was in Blink Twice and Morbius, never watched those movies, with fellow UFC fighter, oh, Alexander Pantoja is in this movie as well. Nice. But let's see. We got him getting into uniform right here. Now off the bat, I chose to make my thumbnail look like Pereira turned into like I want. I don't know what you're allowed to say on YouTube anymore. I just make a funny joke, but I don't know. Don't want to go down for any, you know, funny jokes that are too offensive. I hit my mic. Too offensive, but let's watch this video right here.
Okay, silence please, everyone ready?
¿Qué quedó? Dude, this guy is menacing. Let's see. Can I Is there any more that I can find on this? Um, you know what? We'll come back to Instagram later. I want to move on to this article. Alex Perez's first look as A24 movie villain has fans worried ahead of UFC 320 rematch. And that's another part of this that we're going to have to talk about, is that he is facing Uncle Live in the rematch on October 4th. Well, let's read this article. Alex Pereira's move to Hollywood has come with mixed reactions. One of the few UFC fighters to have become a two-division UFC champion, Alex Pereira is now going for two-time status as he tries to exact his revenge on current light heavyweight champion Magomed Ankalaev. Ankalaev handed Poatan his first loss at 205 at UFC 313 where he won by unanimous decision. A lot was made of Pereira's first training camp and preparation for Enclave, or lack thereof, as the former champion traveled across the world in the lead up going on many adventures outside of training. There's a similar narrative ahead of his rematch with Enclave at UFC 320 on October 4th in Las Vegas. Pereira will not only gear up for his next fight, but also for a new movie. Alex Pereira criticized after taking time off to film the movie. In October, Pereira was reported to play a villain in A24's new thriller Onslaught. On Sunday, Pereira set photos and videos from the upcoming film and his new costume, which has the UFC star in tactical gear, half of his face painted black, and wielding a butcher's knife. Now, we already saw the Instagram post. While fans are excited for Pereira's acting debut, others are left concerned that he's not taking rival Uncle Ive as seriously as he should for the UFC 320 title fight. Things started going downhill when Ronda Rousey started doing movies, the fan wrote. I need my boy focused on getting the belt back. I hope this isn't a distraction, the fan added. Never good for fighters' careers when they start taking other jobs, another fan wrote. Once they go to Hollywood, they never go back as champs, said another fan. Never winning in the UFC again. Man has gone to Hollywood. That okay. I get like him not beating Uncle I, but never winning again. This is Alex Pereira. This is Alex Pereira. He can still beat majority of the light heavyweights on that roster. I truly believe that Uncle Ive is just one of the A tier fighters at 205. Uncle Ive is in that tier of Yuri Prohaska, I feel. Who Pereira knocked out Yuri twice. Get off the movie and walk in. You gotta get your belt back in 2 months, another fan said. Onslaught does not currently have a release date. Um, then you have Michael Venom Page talking about this movie and that. Now, this is important, right? Uncle I versus Alex Pereira, too. Now, Alex Pereira, in the ESPN Hour era, now moving into the Paramount era, this guy is the their guy. This guy is one of their top three stars. When you look at this board, what draws do you really have at the top? You got Ilya Taporia, you got Islam Makhachev, you got Hamza Chimaev, and I would throw DDP up there. John Jones left, Tom Aspinall. I feel we will need to see how much the Thriller gunfight sells, but I truly believe that Tom Aspinall, within the next little bit here, will be up there as one of the faces of the UFC, and he will be going into the July 4th card as one of the biggest players on it. Now, oh, this is the one talking about. Oh, never mind. We don't even need to read that one. Um, so yeah, that one I think they announced. Yeah, Austin Vanderford versus Ramirez Behemoth. I really do like that fight. I think that fight will deliver. Vanderford. I think Vanderford's PBZ's husband. I think. Yeah, pretty sure he came over from what PFL, Bellator, one of the two. PFL is Bellator. What am I saying? But you look at Alex Pereira, right? And you factor in his entire career. You factor in the age 38, turned 38 July 7th, will be 39 next year, and 40 in 2 years. So this guy isn't going to be around the UFC, I feel, for a long time. Again, when you're a big star, when you're racking up pay-per-views, which are gone, at least in the US for now. Alex Pereira's run saved 2024. We're gonna talk about the Uncle Liar fight, all over and over again, leading into October and September. But you look at the run that he had coming in to the UFC in his kickboxing career. Decision, first round TKO decision. He got TKO'd, beat Cesar Almeida, who beat him in the rematch. Now in the UFC on a decent run, I'd say. I had a lot of gripes with Cesar Almeida in his debut, but I think Almeida is rounding in very well, and I think that he is really good on the ground, which surprised me. Matias Sedero, second round TKO lost to Almeida, like I said. First round knee, first round KO, majority decision. Lost to Artem Levin. Tom beat these two guys. Three knockdowns against Evan Glass. Lost to Jason Wellness. Beat Cesar Almeida in the rematch. And then got submitted in his first MMA fight. Goes uh, goes up against Marcelo Cruz, beats him by first round KO. Izzy fight, unanimous decision, close fight, back in 2016. KO. Got KO'd in that fight. KO'd Izzy once again. KO'd Izzy in the second fight. Uh, beat Burnham Ramah, beat this guy. You get the point. I'm not gonna go through the rest of these. Um, was a monster. Last two fights, beat Artem Vakilov by split decision, and then lost the majority decision. Um, by or in the rematch. Vakilov was on the Contender Series. UFC didn't pay him for some fucking reason, and then he went over to Glory, lost to and not Artem Vakilov. He is Artem Vakilov. He lost to Rico Verhoeven, who has been the Glory Heavyweight Champion since 2015. Not a bad loss to have. And then he comes over to the UFC after that loss. He had the debut with the second round flying knee, got a performance bonus for it. Beat Bruno Silva. Bruno Silva did really good in that fight, but man, that just showcased how much power he had. KO'd Sean Strickland in the first round with the left hook, who he went on to beat Izzy right after Izzy got the belt back from Pereira, which were moving into that fight. Izzy had a phenomenal first 4 rounds, and then Pereira's corner told him, "Yeah, you gotta finish this," and he went out there and he finished it. Now, Izzy was still on the feet, but I mean, you had Pereira just absolutely nailing him against the stage, and he won, became the middleweight champion within 4 fights. Then you have the rematch in Miami, UFC 287, and Izzy played possum, found the counter right, knocked Pereira out, and Pereira makes the decision to move up to light heavyweight in July. What, 2, 3 months after being knocked out? 3 months. And he wins a close split decision over Jan. A lot of people thought Jan won that fight. But hey, at the end of the day, he has the green square on his record. Then he moves into the vacant title fight against Yuri Prohaska. Yuri Prohaska, we know, former champion, really good on the feet. TKOs him in the second round after avoiding first round. But then you move into UFC 300. That card fell apart completely. He ends up being the main event. Starches Jamal Hill. Bit controversial off of a ref break, but again, win is a win. Then he rematches Yuri Prohaska at UFC 303 when Conor McGregor injured his pinky toe and could not fight against Michael Chandler. Knocks him out. Well, knocked him out at the end of the first round, and then just throws a head kick up in the second. Fights Khalil Roundtree at UFC 307 in October. Supposed to be on Live. Khalil Roundtree number 8 at the time, but this was probably the greatest light heavyweight title fight of all time. Khalil Roundtree gave everything he had in those first 2 rounds, and it was shots to the body, and it was a matter of Khalil Roundtree. His body gave up. He didn't give up. His body gave up. And, fastest person to 3 title defenses. We have to wait until March 8th until his return. UFC 313. Uncle Ive outboxes him, outgrapples him, uses the dirty boxing very well, wins by unanimous decision. And then we're back to October 4th. The next time we are going to see Alex Pereira. Now, is filming a movie a distraction? 100%. I don't think anybody will disagree or try and debate that Pereira filming this movie is not taking time away from his training, from, you know, focusing and learning on life. And the criticism of the first fight was he wasn't taking it seriously. He was showing up to every UFC fight. He was partying here, partying there, and he just looked awful in that first fight. And I truly believe he can beat Unclive. He defended every takedown. It was really a matter of Pereira didn't throw anything. I felt like if Pereira mixed in some dirty boxing and made Uncle Ive question, you know, what he was doing, Uncle Ive, majority of the fight, was free to throw whatever he wanted at Pereira due to Pereira being scared of the shot, right? But this is just one thing that will elevate Pereira to another level. This is another thing that will make Alex Pereira even more of a household name. And 100%, man, growing up in Brazil, being an alcoholic as a child, to go from that to, a two-division champ and two martial arts, well, kickboxing and mixed martial arts, he deserves it, man. This is only going to be a net positive. And, if Uncle Ive beats him in the rematch, which is most likely, hopefully he does the convincing way, and then you have Uncle Ive, whose only loss was a last second submission from Paul Craig. It's a net positive for everyone. If Alex Pereira can go out there and win back the belt, he's going to go into July 4th. He's going to move up to heavyweight regardless. If he finishes on Clive, I don't think they'll do the rematch. I think with his age, it's clear you're moving him up to heavyweight regardless after October. But, yeah, man, this is interesting with this new Paramount deal with Pereira filming a movie. This sport is elevating. This sport, and I said this in my other video yesterday, I truly believe this is the greatest sport on the planet. If I didn't believe that, I wouldn't be rambling for half an hour a day to a camera, uploading this for random people on the internet to listen to me ramble incoherently about this sport that I love dearly. But this is well deserved. I really hope it doesn't take away from his fight in October. I don't think it will completely. I think Pereira will show up better. I think it will be a more competitive fight. And again, this is Pereira, man. This is the heaviest striker we have ever seen. I know Francis has that record, but you saw that Pereira basically jabbed that whatever punching machine, and what was he like 15 off of Francis, or took that big left. I think it was a left hook, maybe an overhand on that machine. But let me know what you think about this down below. Um, and let me know what you thought about what Matt Brown said. I might do a full video on that. Not sure, but thanks for watching. I love you guys. I love the support that you guys show me. And yeah, later.